Hello, Lions of Liberty fans, and one great way to start out your day is with a shot of whiskey. But if you're not an alcoholic, the next best way to start your day is with an amazing cup of coffee. And now you can order coffee, delicious coffee, and also support the Lions of Liberty. We have partnered with Anarcho Coffee to create our own brand of coffee known as the Morning Roar. And let me tell you, this coffee is delicious. I am saying that as someone who just drank 2 cups of it before I recorded this pre-roll. So I can tell you, I'm a little hyped up, and I just had some delicious coffee. And I'd like you to be able to start your day the same way. So I want you to head over to lionsofliberty.com/coffee. You get a 10% discount with your very first order. And if you join the Lions of Liberty Pride for $10 or more per month, which you can do over at patreon.com/Lions of Liberty, you will then get a permanent 15% discount on all future orders. And you're going to want future orders after you try this, let me tell you. But first, give it a shot. Head over to lionsofliberty.com/coffee and start your day with a morning roar.
Welcome to the Lions of Liberty podcast. Here's your host, your guide, your shining beacon of liberty, Marc Claire.
All right, friends, Liberty lovers, welcome to this very special live-streamed edition. Live-streamed, I guess, for Pride members only. So if you're not a Pride member and you want to see this live and you want to see me get angry before the show when people are late and aren't set up right, you got to join the Pride. Patreon.com/Lions of Liberty, where you get all sorts of special exclusive access. We are live streaming this to our Pride Facebook page as well as to the Zoom link that all Pride members get. And I've got the whole crew today because this is a very special edition of Libertarians in Living Rooms Drinking Liquor. It is the latest iteration of the Liberty Draft. We've got a full house, so I'm going to speed through the intros real quick, and then we're going to bullshit and get into some things. So we're going to start. I just want you to tell me, let's see, what are you drinking, and a fun fact about yourself. Brian McWilliams, host of Electric Liberty Land. What you drinking? What's up? Are you ready to roar? All those questions.
I'm ready to roar. I'm drinking a dirty martini, and I tried to take a nap today before this show and woke up with terrible panic attacks because my body rejects sleeping during the daytime.
And because you realized you had a Liberty Draft tonight.
That was lesser of the things. I think more so I woke up because just my body was going through alcohol withdrawal after we went to Vegas. But I'm fixing that, so it's all good.
See, I've already been drinking because I recorded an episode of the Fadcast, the Friends Against Government, right before this show. So I got to
those dickholes don't get a plug
like your
on
time
this
recording?
fucking podcast.
It's my second time.
When they stole the idea for Liberty Draft from us. That is ridiculous.
Well, we actually did another Liberty Draft, and that was Odie. We'll talk about that one once we bring more people in. Odie, what's up? Host of Felony Friday. John Odermatt, what are you drinking? And tell me something fun about yourself.
I got a Sweetwater 420, my favorite pale ale, and some Guinness as a backup here. And fun fact is, I guess by the time this airs, you will have heard it, but I got a solo Felony Friday coming up. So I got a
fun fact about the past, everybody.
You've all just time traveled. You're welcome.
All right, and let's see.
You may have also heard that women wear petticoats back in the day. I'm John Odermatt. Stay tuned for more facts from the past.
That's a special Patreon-only show coming very soon. Coming last week, another fact.
Oh, by the way, other fun fact, I'm wearing a Glamosaurus Tyrannosaurus Rex shirt right now that I bought at Universal Studios.
We're only doing one fun fact each, so we'll move on. Howie Snowden, the Godfather, the man who first introduced me to the ideas of liberty, so many years ago. What are you drinking? And tell me something. Tell me something about yourself.
I am drinking. It's called White Claw Hard Seltzer. It's like alcoholic. It's like alcoholic LaCroix. I'm drinking that because it's not a fun fact, but it's freaking 99 degrees here today.
Jesus.
And I have to turn off the AC when I do podcasts because it's too loud. So I'm staying cool with a little alcoholic.
So
seltzer.
not only is Virginia too hot when it's hot and too cold when it's cold. I feel like I just started singing like a Bobby Brown song or something. You call them Ghostbusters and they're in control. It also is the home of the CIA. God, why are you there?
I don't know.
It's because I bought a house and that's where it is. End of that story. All right. Well, Howie sounds shockingly sober, so we'll see how this plays out.
But the good news is he's going to get dehydrated quickly in that hot basement drinking. So I still think he could overtake JB for slurring later.
Also, those seltzers, is that number 2 or 3 for you, Howie?
Number one.
Number one. Oh, how many do you have within arm's reach there?
Enough.
6, 7? You'll be pretty drunk if you drink 7 during this podcast.
All right, over and under if Howie drinks 7 of those. I'm going to say over, including the bonus show, over.
I'll say over, for sure.
Over-under on how... Okay, well, actually, it's not an over-under, but has Rico, when he's inevitably introduced, already started watching a basketball playoff game and thus is not paying attention to the draft or not? What are we voting? I vote
Why
yes.
don't we find out? Rico, come on in. What you drinking, and are you watching basketball?
From his eye movements, I would say yes.
Yeah, right?
I
There's
can
JB.
see the cord glazing off his eyes.
All right,
the
and that's
reflection
Barry
of the
White
cord
chiming
his
in there,
eyes.
too.
There hasn't been the game 1 of the finals is tomorrow, so the answer is no. I'm drinking vodka and seltzer water. A real drink, not like this fucking can bullshit that Howie and Odie like so much. And fun fact, I hate everyone else on this panel today.
That got real.
Fuck all you.
I don't know. Do you
Rico,
call it
at
fact?
Porkfest, we're going to get you some of that seltzer, and you're going to love it. It's going to change your life.
My seltzer. Whoa.
I'm skeptical.
And finally, we've got the man who made me throw my headphones earlier by being so late to the show. The man who now sounds like Barry White for some reason. JP Lubin. What are you drinking?
I'm in the mood now. I just want to say, while I get the chance, McWilliams,
I swear you didn't sound like this before the show.
I fucking love
It's
that
just-
shirt. I fucking
Thank
love it.
you. It's your
And
podcast,
I'm
Glamosaurus. Maybe
I'm
I'll bring it to
drinking- I'm
Porkfest. I
drinking
think it would fit
Dogfish
you.
Head 60 minute, and this is what I drink when I fucking hate everyone. So it's the perfect time for it. That's all I
Sounds
need
like
to say.
JB just took a whipping. Or maybe.
If I knew what that was, I would laugh harder.
Wink.
Wink nudge.
Nicely played.
Well, we're all here. Somehow we made it happen, folks. We have gathered once again for another edition of the Liberty Draft, and I'm not going to do a full draft recap. We've done that. You just go back and listen to the other draft shows. Pause right now. I'll link to them in today's show notes at lionsofliberty.com/403 because this is the 403rd episode of this very podcast, and then you can come back here. It's that simple. Unless you're watching live, then you don't have time for that. In which case, you should probably already know. If you're that big a fan to be in the Pride, then you probably already know where the draft is at.
Can I pause and listen to the draft show so I know who's
you go ahead.
on
Well,
what team?
you go ahead and do that, or you can also look at the document I just emailed you for the 15th time. That's another method.
I love asking for that. It's my favorite part
All
of the
right,
show.
so we're just gonna get into the draft. Unless you guys have anything you want to talk about, but just format-wise, we're gonna do the picks and the recap as we go. So we'll go in the same draft order. Just say who you drafted already, and then introduce your next draft pick, and then we'll move on. So pretty simple, huh? We're only gonna do 2 rounds today. We'll just do rounds 3 and 4, which is like 12. I think it's actually 10 picks because 2 of us do have some lingering keepers still.
Are we starting with Rico, or are we starting on the other?
Well,
Obviously.
the draft order. It being a snake draft,
That's right.
the order is going to be as it was last time. It's Rico, TBD, me with Hellfire and Liberty. Make Liberty great again. That is you, John Odermatt. Bastiat's Bitches, managed by Barry White. Wake Up Punchy by Brian. Woo! And Howie gets the wrap around, 2 picks in a row with the Dark Tom Woods Lions. So very exciting for Howie.
Jealous.
I bet Howie didn't even know that.
I don't get to make one goddamn
No,
pick today. Why am I even on this fucking show? I could have emailed it in. No one's
This
gonna pick it.
this would be the earliest we started picks if we start now. Unless you're counting the 45 minutes we waited for everybody.
I was thinking I might even announce my team name at Porkfest.
Whoa.
There's
Now that's an
50-50
incentive
chance.
right there. There's-
So
Folks, if you haven't bought your
Yes.
Porkfest ticket yet, if possibly hearing the name of Rico's team doesn't get you there, frankly, I don't know what will.
By the way,
People are rushing
Yes.
to their computers to the
suggestions
Porkfest
or
website
requests?
to buy their tickets now.
the website has crashed. I hear.
Or people
I will
have
listen to your
visited the
suggestion. I
Porkfest
probably
website.
won't take it. Go ahead.
Any suggestions for a Do Nothing Man villain for this show? Because I have to write and record it tomorrow.
I gave you a suggestion, and I already forgot it, but it was like 2
I know
weeks
what it was.
ago.
Joe Biden.
I was going to do Tulsi
What about the-
Gabbard's
what about the
Water Woman. That was one idea.
What about the JB Jekyll and Hyde?
That's it. Well, I'd have to fight somebody though. I don't want to be fighting him. I mean, I guess I could
What
fight
about Rand
Well,
Paul's
well,
neighbor if you want to fight somebody?
the gardener.
Hey friends, I got to take a quick pause here to tell you about another great libertarian podcast out there. It's called Free Man Beyond the Wall, hosted by the artist formerly known as Mance Raider, now known simply by his real name of Pete Raymond. And I gotta tell you, Pete is a machine. This guy brings you a new episode of his own every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and he has done some absolutely fantastic in-depth interviews. He's had on everybody from Ron Paul to Thaddeus Russell to Phil Labonte, the lead singer of All That Remains. A very diverse group of guests, not always libertarians. He also did a great show with a Washington, D.C. insider lobbyist revealing a lot of the dirt that goes on behind the scenes in DC. He has done so many interviews that I have just said, darn, I wish I did this one myself. So I really do want to highly recommend checking out Free Man Beyond the Wall. You can find it over at freemanbeyondthewall.com, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, and all those fancy podcatchers out there. All right, so why don't we get going then? Rico, you have the first pick. You are Team TBD. As of now, you still, after 3 years of drafting, have not chosen a team name. But, it's a work in progress.
Just so many good ideas. How do you narrow it down?
Tell us who's on your team currently, and tell us who you're going to hear picking in the third round.
So I got my first round pick was Justin Amash. You may have heard him in the news. He's a real never Trumper at this point in time.
How do you feel about that? Still strong? Still a number one pick, or has he lost a little bit of...
I don't really care. I don't really agree with him that much. I think it's just kind of attention seeking.
He's won my mother over.
Wow. Well, that'd be
when you get Mrs. Snowden on board,
black mark against him. Then a woman who likes American cheese on fucking pizza is nobody that should be supporting anybody.
You're like,
would she actually vote for him, Howie? Or is that just
that's the thing.
No, she just because he's anti-Trump.
Here's the thing with, and I don't think
that's a start.
I honestly don't think Amash is pandering to the left. I think I honestly think he's been pretty anti-Trump since the beginning, and I think that's just what I think. He honestly believes his opinion, and it's an opinion. I mean, it's most likely Trump did commit impeachable offenses by the classic description of what an impeachable offense is, which is anything, literally anything.
Literally.
There's no legal definition of an impeachable offense.
Yeah.
So.
Jaywalking is an impeachable offense.
It is. If they think it goes against the conduct of the office, it absolutely is. I mean, it can be whatever Congress decides.
It's clearly supposed to be for broad, really bad acts.
Yeah.
The fact that only 2 presidents have been impeached over 200 years, can't be anything just fucking stupid.
it's cool you have a big role in genocide and declaring wars without Congress's approval, but God help you if you try to fire a subordinate member of the executive branch. Then it's impeachable.
The U.S. supports all these warlords over in the Middle East that are just
honestly, guys, do you have to be pandering to the left to think that Trump's a scumbag who commits crimes?
I swear to God, JB, it seems like somebody's slowing and speeding up the track that you're on.
Is JB punking us right now? I can't tell if this is all.
What do you mean?
When JB drinks for 6 hours before the show, this is what you get.
What have I done?
I like it.
No, it's just the way you're talking.
It's just your Barry White voice.
It's just the voice is so funny.
Is it fluctuating?
Yeah, it sounds like it's going it sounds like when somebody's got a track, a reel-to-reel audio track, and it's stretching out like a tape, like your cassette tapes, and it's well, and you have out. It's like a horror movie.
It's like when an ex-mobster goes on Dateline and they shadow at their face and do a fake voice. That's the voice that you have.
You are the witness protection program.
I'm going to have to hear this.
The Black Libertarian Protection Program?
This is probably something very boring and fucking terrible.
What? Allergies make you sound like Barry White?
It's always the most terrible.
What a specific symptom you have.
Allergies
this
ever.
Might be from Conspiracy Corner, but the solution is always the most boring and, logical.
What symptoms are you experiencing? I'm able to woo women easily.
It's fucking
make
allergies.
sweet love to them.
Doctor, my allergies have gone away and my life is terrible now.
Can you imagine, hey, which way are you going out of this alleyway? I don't know who's stopping.
Is he Sean Connery now?
Sean Connery.
Why is he in the alleyway anyway?
You had a British accent at the start.
I heard a little Sean Connery at the top
Scottish.
there too. I thought the same thing.
A Sean Connery
Don't bring up
accent
alleyways
is
with
like
Brian.
this.
He might tell his.
Don't confuse Sean Connery with
Do you
JB.
have Connery allergies?
I wish.
Everybody's
Honestly,
allergies just makes him sound like some
I
celebrity.
wish that's how my seasonal allergies manifested. With
That would be a way better Freaky Friday movie instead of like the daughter switching with the mother if JB switches with Sean Connery.
Freaky Friday 3. You never saw this one
Till I
coming.
end up in Philadelphia. I fucking hate it here.
The Liberty Draft.
How the hell am I a black? You expect me to talk Goldfinger? I can rap. I can't talk anymore. Anyway.
All right. Even Rico has not been. I don't even know what sentence I was going to say right there. Rico, do you want to direct?
What haven't I done?
Nothing. All right. Do you want to tell us who else is on your team besides Amash? What I wanted to say is this is why, and I don't think Amash is pandering to the left, but pandering to the left never works because all it does, like Howie's mom, like I remember my sister saw the Bill Weld ad and was like, "Oh, I like those guys." None of those people are voting for them anyway. They're still going to vote for the Democrat. So all it does is make people that already support Democrats and will just go support Democrats kind of go, "Oh, I like that guy," and then that's it.
Yeah. Well. Hasn't Amash effectively been redistricted?
There's differing opinions about
getting
that.
reelected. So he knows he's not going to win.
He's already filed for reelection and is running in a primary. It's just that Michigan is losing a district. So it's not, he's running again in 2020. So he's not necessarily being redistricted.
And he's getting primaried, though.
Yeah, he is.
He's been primaried a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what they say, man? Whether you Michigan or Michican't, you're right.
There you go.
Nobody says that.
Nah,
but I
Michigan
think
say
it's
that when they
interesting
talk about that
Rico.
stupid fucking hand and they go, "Here's where you are. Look at my hand.
I hate
this
that
is how you
stupid
get
thing.
around Michigan." Goddamn fucking Michigan pisses me off.
I've
God, I
never heard
hate
that
Michigan.
either.
And
Who says
Aren't
that?
like all of your in-laws
Idiots
from Michigan, Brian?
do that. No, I don't know. I don't know. I have friends from Michigan.
Oh, that's what is that?
That's
Minnesota.
all I know that
Yeah.
crap about this stupid hand. Yeah, they're all Minnesota.
So Rico, why are all of your picks Republicans? You got Amash, Massey, Ben Swan,
Ben
and Howie.
Swan's a Republican? Howie's a Republican?
Howie's a Republican?
Sound like my
I
mother.
bet Howie is registered Republican. He
I
probably
actually
is.
registered libertarian now, I think. Finally.
Wow. Oh, registered. Yeah.
I registered libertarian. I'm still not officially a
I'm
party member.
an official member of the Libertarian
Weird.
Party, and you don't register my parties in Virginia.
Okay. So you're not a Republican.
You register by
Howie-
lobby.
So-
You're like, what corporation are you with? That's how Virginia does its politics. Are you with the pharmaceutical lobby? Would you say you're more in the...
All right. Well, thanks to Odie for recapping Rico's team since he only got to his first round pick.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
somebody's got
Justin
Okay.
Amash, Thomas Massey, Ben Swan, who I don't believe is a Republican, but whatever, and Howie Snowden.
Howie Snowden.
The only owner manager on the league, and he's owner/player in the league, but he plays for not his team. He plays Liberty for not his team.
That would be really awkward in every other sport, but I think it's appropriate on my team. So I'm gonna
I'm
go with
disappointed
it.
Howie's not a player manager, though. That'd
He
be
is,
awesome.
just not of his own team.
Yeah,
He is a
exactly.
player manager. He's playing.
Well, you got to be on your
Well,
own team.
we can
though.
make
Like
trades.
when Jordan played in manager.
Well, maybe he'll make a trade. Maybe he'll trade for himself.
That would be funny.
I have a
It'll be a
feeling.
little fast, don't worry.
Two first-round picks for myself.
When did Kim Jong Un get here?
I'm gonna set up a booth at Porkfest and solicit
We should have a
offers
Rico
for team
kissing
members
booth at
that I-
Porkfest.
Well, I don't remember any females.
That's why it's
at
going to be
Porkfest,
fun.
so I-
No, there was plenty of females at Porkfest. Don't scare
I
the
wouldn't
listener.
say
The
plenty.
potential.
I know
attendees
that's
away.
not a...
And who said anything about that?
I don't know what JB just said. What, JB?
You could be
Well, I'm
kissing
sorry,
assholes
Mr. White.
for all we know.
It was so. JB's comment was in such a low tone. I think only dogs picked it up.
Someone's dog out there is just laughing hysterically.
It's the opposite of
It's
a
like
dog
he's
whistle.
talking in seismic vibrations. Hey, could somebody get me a Tremors in here? Do we have a Tremors monster that can decipher JP's statements?
So who's your pick?
Howie wants to pick.
Okay, well, all right. So I was just speaking about females at Porkfest, and I like to have a personal touch. And my personal touch consisted of a 2-second conversation with the person I don't really remember. But I was scrolling through the Libertarian feed on Twitter like an hour ago to get some ideas, and who kept showing up but Lions of Liberty friend Jess Mears. So she's going to be my
That's your
third round pick.
That's a terrible pick.
Wow,
Who
how
gives a shit?
insulting!
It's very.
Hey, she's been the best person from the Libertarian Party I've ever
Yeah,
dealt
she's
with.
not a third round pick. You could have gotten her in the 10th round easily.
Howie, is she the only person from the Libertarian Party you've dealt with?
Yeah, I guess so. But
The way I figured it is I had like 3 female picks last go round, and none of them were even close to libertarian. I think one was a communist. And
One was like a
one
Russian
might be
agent or
dead.
something like that.
Yeah, so I figured I might as well secure a pick now while I can
I
remember
think it's
it.
good you picked an actual libertarian. So
That is a big step.
Well,
yeah.
thanks, Odie.
And she is the membership manager for the Libertarian Party, so she can try to, I don't know, get some Rico
votes.
supporters in there.
maybe Rico get as many votes as the
She
Libertarian
could
Party.
actually influence. She does the social media. She could influence his whole campaign like Odie did shadily last time.
Well, you guys are really building my case in ways I never even thought of, so I appreciate all your assistance.
I'm not a downer like Brian. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think you got an insider.
I
pick.
think she's
Too
going to be very
early
thrilled
pick,
to hear
though.
she went in the same round as Glenn Jacobs and Kennedy.
Yeah, like in any draft, it's when you draft people, and that's way too early.
Well, I'd probably forget her if I didn't draft her now.
Remember, Rico
so.
doesn't write any of this
What a
down.
compliment.
All right, well, the next pick is me, and that pick is already taken because it's a keeper pick. So, I already had Tom Woods and Drew Carey, which everyone mocked, but you're going to come to regret that eventually. And my third round pick was Glenn Jacobs. He's my keeper, and there's not much else to say there unless you guys want to knock my Drew Carey pick. My Drew Carey kick, I think, is a much better value.
You're saying Drew Perry or Drew Carey?
Why don't you recap your first?
No,
round
I
pick
drafted
for
both of
people,
them at the same time. You can do that, right? I have Drew Perry and Drew Carey. Who's Drew Perry? Is that even a person? Luke Perry. Well, he's
Luke Perry and Drew
We
Carey
haven't drafted
combined.
Ghost yet, so we can't draft.
Well, yeah.
draft
Save
Luke
him for the
Perry.
Halloween edition where we draft our ghosts.
For anybody who missed the first episode, Mark picked Tom Woods.
Yep, I already
round
recapped
one.
that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For anyone who missed
For
30
anyone that missed
seconds
the
ago.
other draft or 30 seconds ago.
You were right about those
I missed
seltzers,
it.
Odie. They're really hitting them hard.
Told you.
All right, so I think we can now move on to the third pick in the third round. Last year's quote-unquote winner, asterisk,
Champion.
make Liberty great again, John Odermatt. Give us a recap first.
As they say, all the greatest players have asterisks next to their records.
Do they say
Barry
that?
Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa, right?
Joe Paterno.
That biker guy. Who's that?
Lance
Armstrong and the other biker guy. Pretty much every biker.
I've actually heard with biking though that like it's more healthy to actually dope because it's so
Makes sense.
it's so like bad for you to bike.
That's what I
that
told
much.
my wife when I got back from Vegas.
Yeah, I've heard from everyone at the club that it's more healthy to do a lot of drugs at 2
craziest
a.m.
thing.
So I said, yeah.
Sir, look at this. It's actually healthier for me to be on ecstasy right now. So
Hey, you could spend that money like an idiot out on the casino table, or you could roll it up into a tube. The choice is yours.
all right. Well, luckily none of our listeners
right.
know what that means. So Odie, what's your...
So to go over my picks real quickly, first round was I kept Larry Sharp, and then my second pick, maybe a shocker for some, I picked Maj Toure, who of course is stealing the Libertarian Thunder here in Pennsylvania, running for city council in Philadelphia, and JB will get the chance to vote for him.
You said
So
here in
that's
Philadelphia? You're
exciting.
not in Philadelphia.
No, I will.
JB's in
get it.
Philadelphia.
Well, you're not here, but
I
you're
thought
not
you were
here.
going to take JB with your third round pick, and I was going to be like, Odie, you're going for a theme. And I
He
think I know what it
he
is.
still might.
Yeah, he really is.
It's like my third pick is Michael Jordan. Like Odie.
I actually really might stick with that theme.
Do it.
But so what are you hearing on the streets there, JB, about Maj Toure? You hearing anything?
Not really, but not because of him as a candidate, but as
Look at JB. If you're not on the live stream, you're missing out because JB's falling into his camera as he talks, as he turns into
because
very
no one's talking about city council in general, so it has nothing to
Yeah,
do
right?
with his
Whoever talks about
candidacy.
city council.
Yeah, no one talks about that.
good citizens who care about their
To be
community.
perfectly honest, it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I see all these signs around. Like, you put people with the signs in their yards for all these city council votes, and I'm like, I don't know who these fucking people are. I don't give a shit.
That's why he has a chance to win, and all he has to do is he doesn't have to beat it. All the Democrats get their seats. It's a minority seat, so all he has to do is beat the
Minority
Republicans.
seat. That's messed up that they have one just for.
It is messed up, but it's true. And so also on my team is Bob Murphy. I got him as a keeper. He's in the 9th round, so we'll talk about him more later. With my 3rd round pick, I actually am going to stick with my trend here.
You're not going to go there. You're not going to go with JB, though. I know who you're going to take.
I'm going with Eric July.
You son of a bitch.
JB is alter ego.
I actually was going to take him with my next pick.
I really
too,
thought
so
I was going to come off
but
the
I figured
board
he'd go
there.
Yeah.
for that also. So, wow.
That's right. I am picking.
Odie got
It's going to be the all-black team and Bob Murphy.
Do you want to take this opportunity to trade Bob Murphy too? Oh wait, everyone else has all white teams.
Bob
Never mind.
Murphy's on there. Come on.
Totally amazing
He's the
pick
John
and roll.
Stockton
Even
of
I
Make
get that
Liberty
basketball
Great
reference.
Again.
I love it.
That's awesome. I actually want to have Eric July on the show because I was thinking about having him on after my next LALDL because I'm like, where is it? It's like everybody whores. Like I said, Michael Malice is on like every podcast. I feel like Eric July was on a bunch, and now
He doesn't
like
do that to many podcasts.
who? Michael Malice?
Is he going to be Eric July going to be a Pork Fest this
I
year?
don't think he is this year.
I don't think so.
My favorite Eric July moment is when you had him on your show and just hearing his awkwardness when you're telling him your alleyway story. And we'll just tease that. We'll link to that in the show notes for people to go listen. We don't need to recap it here.
Is that the one? Oh,
You can just hear him like awkwardly
I
laughing.
forgot
like,
I told that
"Whoa."
story to him. That was a very funny story.
Yeah, you must have been drunk.
I don't think I was because he didn't drink. I think I was just telling him.
That wouldn't stop you from drinking.
That's going to stop you
Yeah, true.
from drinking?
No, that's true. That has never stopped me before. I will tell you, though, that what was really funny was at Porkfest last year when we had talked up a big game about playing Eric July in basketball, me, Rico, and Odie. And then, of course, Odie tears his freaking, I don't know, what do you tear, your ankle ligament?
Ankle, this is my ankle.
And then Rico and I were too hungover to play. I brought my basketball shoes back from college, which, by the way, because it was raining from college. Actually, I used them in LA. I think they were newer than that. But I'd used them in 10 years, and I'm walking around Porkfest in the rain in these fucking basketball shoes because they were thicker, and the soles ripped off because they were so old, and they were just flopping around like Muppet mouths. So no game took place.
In short,
But I think we would have won. Us versus backstage, we still would have won easily.
Backstage.
Backwards, I mean, not backstage. Us versus. I still think
Is that against Johnny Rocket and Raylene Lightheart backstage?
backstage best.
backroom casting.
Is Raylene going to Porkfest? Is she ditching Johnny to come?
I don't
get
think
some,
any Launchpad crew. Well, Nick McCone will be there. He's part of that.
Backroom
that
basketball couch.
That should be
That's what they
JB. That
audition
should be your
cheerleaders.
team name. Backroom basketball couch. Speaking of your team name, it is not that. It is Bastiat's Bitches, and you have the next pick.
Can I change it to backroom basketball couch?
If you really want to, you can. I ain't gonna stop you.
I was actually thinking about changing my team name to Harriet Tubman.
Just-
So any
You're
of
just
the
gonna
three
name
would be
it.
good.
although you know her bill is not
It's
coming out
either-
to 2024.
So it's either Bastiat's Bitches, Harriet Tubman, or backroom.
Why don't you just keep adding a team name
basketball
every
couch?
time we do it,
So
and then you can have like 9 team names.
I love it.
Okay, but yeah,
I'll rotate.
But I'm still gonna call you Bastiat's Bitches for now. All right, Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
All right, Barry White, Harriet Tubman, whatever. Harriet Tubman. Here, I'm changing your team name to Harriet Tubman.
Barry
Tubman.
Tubman?
Barriott Tubman. I like it.
Barriet Tubman.
I like because of his voice. Barriott Tubman.
Bastiat's
I'm going with
Tubman,
Barriet
okay?
Tubman. We're naming this for you, Barriet Tubman. There you go. It's Barry White plus Harriet Tubman.
Perfect.
JB, who's on your team so far?
Well, I've got the number 1 draft pick, the legend Ron Paul, of course, who needs no introduction. And then
What do you mean? I don't need no introduction. Not everybody knows who I am and the Fed. Yeah, that's my Ron Paul.
It's great.
And then I guess in the supplemental draft, I picked up Joe Rogan, which was a controversial pick, and I think getting controversial by the Joe
Mr.
Rogan podcast show.
I'm a socialist
But
on just about
nevertheless-
everything Joe Rogan. I believe he recently said that. Great pick.
But nevertheless, there's still time until this next year for him to straighten his ways. And then I also picked up on Sasso, my third pick.
That was actually
when
your
I
second.
thought
We are
still
doing positions.
and I needed a media guy.
Yeah. Afterwards, you don't need to assign
Are
them
we
now.
doing
But once we
positions?
have our full team, you'll assign the 6 positions, and then just to recap for the listeners, I guess if they didn't go back and listen, you got a LP presidential candidate, LP libertarian candidate, mainstream media star male, mainstream media star female, YouTube star podcaster, and then we have 4 other spots. You can do whatever you want with them.
All right.
Boom. So yeah, no.
Now everyone knows the rules better than I do. But nevertheless, those are my 3 players right now, I guess. Can I call them that? Whatever. Anyway,
Players,
for my 4th player, I'm going to have to take Ovens O'Brien off the board.
Wow, Ovens O'Brien.
Yeah, I'm going to take Ovens right now.
All right, what's your reasoning here? All the Liberty ladies are starting to go now.
See, that's why Kennedy was such a coup for me. Fucking...
No, she's a libertarian stalwart, multi-generational libertarian, which is more than any of us can really say.
Indeed.
And, it's particularly with the show that she did recently with Dave Smith and who else was on there? Walter Block. I think she presented herself very well, even though she was, I would have to say arguably, she was defending the most objectionable of the 3 positions, and I think she did herself, quite well on that show. So I want to get her on a team here.
You mean Harriet Tubman?
Yes, bitches. Or Harriet Tubman. Or
Harriet Tubman's
basketball couch. Whichever one you might choose. Put
Harriet
it up on
Tubman's
the poll,
back door. How about that?
and we'll pick it. So that's Ovens O'Brien for me.
The story of JB is the story of this podcast. That's all I know. The other story is how frustrated I know Howie is that he hasn't gotten to pick yet.
Well, I get 2 in a row though. Right?
I'm impressed, Howie. You've been very quiet so far. It's like you're just lurking in the background, waiting to pounce with your drunkenness and your picks when it all comes together.
If we can just go back to JB being the story of this podcast for
we
a
certainly
minute.
can.
I think people out there who don't see the video might think we maybe just found another black guy. This is the same guy. It's the same guy.
It is the same exact guy, unbelievably enough.
No,
there's video to prove it. You can see it by joining the Pride. $10 a month or higher for everybody gets the live video, but the posted video goes to our $10 a month and plus people. All right, so JB, good stuff. Let's see. We are finally at Wake Up Punchy. You get no pick. Your pick is already taken, but why don't you tell us who's on your team at least?
All right. Well, who's on my team is Rand Paul, of course, libertarian legacy.
Funny story about Rand Paul. When I was on the Fadcast earlier today, I recorded it. Should be airing sometime whenever. We actually did an impromptu worst libertarians draft. Like, we did a team of people you would least want to be out there. And the only person in the entirety of that draft that was also drafted in this draft was Rand Paul.
That's fucking retarded.
Were the Fadcast guys on time?
They were actually early, waiting on me. Yes, they were very on time. So I was in such a good mood with them.
Wait, Mark, were you late for their show?
No, I wasn't
Mark,
late.
were you late for their show?
No, we were both early. They were just a little earlier.
Did they throw their headphones waiting?
Why
for
would they
you?
throw their headphones? We were all early. Nothing to be mad about.
Anyway, that is retarded and misguided because while I've literally written entire articles about how Rand Paul is giving libertarianism a bad name back when he ran for president, at the point in time, look, he's still doing a lot of good things as far as fighting against war, fighting for, really, he's the only one.
I'm going to link to all your old
articles
articles criticizing Rand Paul right under your team. So
yes, that would be ideal.
Yeah, I've seriously thought the only reason he might not ever come on our show is because of Brian.
Yeah, you still picked him
I can
first.
attack a man, and I can attack him sometimes and applaud him for other things. That's called having a free mind, you dickholes. So,
do you think Rand Paul was like waiting around for the latest Rand Paul pluses and minuses? He's like telling his secretary, "Let me know when it's posted," and then he's like runs to his computer.
Well, did I ever tag him? I should tag him. Well, next time I do one, I will tag him.
I know you didn't
Fair
tag him.
enough.
You're not a tagger.
No, I'm not a.
Next time you write an article,
Too lazy to look up people's tags. But Rand
Well,
Paul has been
they're usually
awesome
pretty
on
simple.
the
They're like
deficit.
at Rand Paul.
He is the one tempering Trump's worst instincts. He still criticizes him. He still had a bill put forth to try to rein in the war powers and stop the atrocities going on in Yemen. He was the one that tried to rein in spending on foreign governments. He tried to rein in military budget and selling arms. So Rand Paul's been pretty goddamn good in a lot of ways, especially lately.
I thought that Yemen bill was Bernie Sanders.
No. Well, I think he co-sponsored with him. As far as I know,
Who cares if it's facts?
No.
Or
As far as I know, there was one that he had co-sponsored. I mean, there might be a different bill too. It might have gotten shot down, but he has this penny plan too, bill to attack the deficit. So
I thought Joey Meyer was our intern that pays us.
look, go back and listen to Rand Paul's and minuses because I don't remember these things after the show.
That's how libertarian we are. Our interns pay us. Minimum wage,
Anyway,
my ass.
moving on. So Rand Paul was my first pick just to get a big name, secure first pick in there. Pete Raymond, old Mancy Pants, was my second round pick just because He's been blowing up lately. He's been moving on up, so I figured I'd snag him early, knowing that I had Kennedy, the best libertarian female, as my third-round pick. And she was a keeper, so I don't have a pick this round.
Apparently her name is Lisa Kennedy. I never knew that. I think I read that somewhere today for the first time.
Yeah.
That's true.
I didn't even know that.
Did you mention Judge Knapp?
Yeah, you got another pick, Brian. Come on.
Doesn't even mention.
Doesn't even know who's
Look
on
at
his
this.
team. It's great.
Hold on.
Another anti-Trumper.
I lost my...
Is Judge Knapp really a libertarian
totally lost
anymore,
my
or
page. I don't even know
is
where the
his?
fuck that thing is. Oh yeah,
I think
Judge
Knapp's sole reason to exist is to criticize.
Yeah, I'm
Trump
actually a little bit aggravated with Judge Knapp in the same way that people were aggravated a little bit with Amash, and that
I'm not aggravated with Amash.
I just said I disagree. Number one, I disagree with Amash, and I disagree with Judge Knapp on the obstruction, and I laid that out in last week's Electric Liberty Land.
Luckily, the three of you have
2 weeks
similar
ago.
legal credentials, so.
Honestly, though, I just need to understand this. Brian, do you, so I have mixed views. Do you disagree that Trump...
I have mixed views. Some of them are Barry White, some of them are mine.
Are you saying that Trump did not obstruct justice, or do you not think obstructions of justice should be a crime?
I don't think
because I'm in the latter
justice
camp.
Should be a crime.
I think obstruction of justice is a bullshit crime.
Yes, I'm with you exactly.
But it doesn't mean that if it exists, he didn't do it. That's
especially when there was no crime.
He didn't do it though because.
Well, hold on.
I'm just asking.
No, I am on your side in that, and that's what I was saying on the show. Is I think obstruction of justice is a bullshit crime. I think that it was invented to stop people from trying to defend themselves. And the government can do whatever they fucking want to you,
if
but
you're
you
trying
can't
to
do anything.
put me in prison,
Hold on,
of course
though.
I'm going
Hold
to
on.
do whatever the fuck I can to stay out of fucking prison.
Exactly,
it's your job
JB.
to put me in prison. It's not my job to put you in prison.
You can't.
Exactly.
But even though it is a law,
Exactly, JB.
you have to have corrupt intent to obstruct, and the fact that there was no crime, it was an illegal coup attempt, and he couldn't possibly have corrupt intent to obstruct justice if there's no crime to be obstructing.
That's not. But I agree. I agree in principle.
I'm no lawyer. That's not how the law
Well,
is.
Justin Amash's argument was someone can obstruct justice so well you can't get evidence of the crime. But they're not saying saying there was no Russian collusion. They're not saying that he obstructed so we couldn't get the evidence he colluded.
Well, you could theoretically
hold on, but
obstruct
let's
justice
say Trump
when there's
killed
no
a guy,
crime.
literally murdered a guy through House of Cards style, and he was being investigated, and he fired his attorney general who was leading it, and hired a new guy who was going to help him cover up. Would you not consider that a crime, or it should be circumstantial?
Well, wouldn't they?
If there's a crime to cover up.
Yeah, if there's a crime to cover up, then
if there's a crime to cover up.
But you guys are saying obstruction can never be a crime.
I don't think it should be. Like JB said, I agree. JB and I are on the same page here. Look, it's your job to fucking prove that I did it, to put me in jail. It's not my job to roll over and let you fuck me in the fucking ass, no matter what. Period. There's nothing in the Constitution says that the government gets to fuck me and I'm not allowed to do anything and I just have to take it.
Yeah, but if you murdered somebody, you're not being fucked.
They invented obstruction of
Yeah,
justice. It's
I kind of understand what both of you are saying. Like, if you actually did commit a crime and then you obstructed justice in order to cover it up, so you did not get convicted.
There's other different ways of that's.
I don't think that's an extra crime. You know what I mean? Yeah, I committed murder, but trying to get away with it. Not really
Yes, it is. If you're destroying evidence, if you're witness intimidation,
that's an extra crime. No, that's
Rico.
Maybe this is
it might not be extra, but like
extra crime.
I understand what you're saying. If that's already a criminal violation, witness intimidation, or obstruction
those are
of
different.
evidence. But oftentimes they just put that under obstruction of justice. But you can, I mean, if you want to kind of break it down really into minutia, you could obstruct justice by doing various things that aren't illegal. You could prevent people from testifying,
which is witness tampering, which is also
coercion.
a crime. It's not. That's not.
Yeah,
that's its own crime.
I was just going to say that. Isn't that witness tampering?
Yeah, thank you, JB. We already have that fucking covered. Obstruction of justice is a broad umbrella term that's fucking bullshit. Period.
I agree that a lot of crimes and obstruction
Brian
too
is playing to obstruction
so
justice
broadly defined that it's just a catch-all. Like that's what the government loves is catch-all crimes.
Whatever they can get you with.
But I think one of the stupidest things Amash was talking about in his rants were how Trump didn't cooperate fully because he never formally sat down for a verbal interview, and only a dumbass would
That was
would
how these
do
other
that.
guys got in
Like,
trouble.
oh,
That's-
sure, I'm going to sit down and talk to the FBI
That
for
was the
5
mistake that
hours
Flynn
and let them ask
Roger
me.
Stone and all those guys made.
Yeah.
Was ever
Never talk to the FBI. Don't even tell them where the nearest gas station is if they
Plead the fifth, man. Talk to my lawyer. That's it.
But that's my point, Rico. I feel like you're not on my side, but you're like making my point for me.
Did we just find ourselves in the midst of a is it a crime? Should they do
We might
time?
have.
No. I'm saying
That's not how the song
Well,
goes.
if you're saying obstruction is equal to lack of cooperation,
Rico, so basically what you're saying, if you
Well,
commit
that's
a
what they're
crime
saying
or
it is.
think
They're
may
saying
have
you can't
committed a
tweet
crime,
about it.
You have to
Like,
be
it's
a
like
moron,
you can't talk to
not
somebody. You
to
can't
obstruct.
be like, hey, neighbor, I prefer if you,
You have
didn't
to
talk.
be an
I-
asshole and
okay,
dumbass,
it's obstruction of
not
justice
to
if you go to
obstruct
somebody and
justice.
go, hey, you know.
'Cause you don't
I
want to
prefer
go
if you
to
didn't,
Just watching
uh,
Howie wait to draft.
whatever. I already rehashed this. I'm not going to say
We talked
it.
about
I
this.
haven't
secretly
even
before
seen
the
Howie take a drink of his beverage in like an hour.
I feel like everybody's going on just to keep me from making my picks.
He's so mad right now.
and another thing.
This is my payback 1,000-fold, Howie. Tonight is payback.
All right, moving on. Look, go listen to Electric Liberty Land when I talked about Justin Amash.
Here's what I'm going
versus
to do.
Trump.
I'm going to host a debate next month. It's going to be Brian and JB against Justin Amash and Judge Knapp, and then we'll sort this out.
Done. I'll take that on.
All the four top
think
legal
our
experts
logic,
right now.
Our
Honestly,
logic here is fucking.
I would
we
love
win
that
logic.
more than anything.
Moderated by
else.
Rico.
Just because they happen to have the quote unquote, okay, so this is the way the law is set up, doesn't mean that the law is correct. It means it was invented
Well,
law.
obviously, we're
That's why I
libertarians.
broke
We
the-
As an umbrella of
the thing-
bullshit. So
Like, from what I could say, a lot of it seems that Trump did obstruct justice, but I think obstruction of justice is bullshit.
Exactly.
I don't believe
What
it.
was justice though? If you break down that term, what was justice in this case?
From what I can see, from what I've seen, he willfully tried to
what
No, I understand that, but what if you go down the road all the way to the end? If nothing ever happened that prevented Mueller from doing whatever he wanted, what was justice in the case?
because there was no crime.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Justice
So-
would be him being exonerated because from what they're investigating.
So he didn't
for,
obstruct
was
justice
innocent
because
of.
that is what happened.
So,
Is that what you want? But that's not how the law is written.
Well, I understand what
This
you're
is how I
saying.
started
The
this
law is so
entire
broad.
fucking conversation.
well,
Yeah, you're a
I
fucking
wouldn't say
lawyer.
I
You
know
know exactly
everything.
what I'm
I'm
I would say you
I don't
hardly know
understand
anything.
You are the Lions of Liberty legal counsel.
I hope
I don't know
you
shit.
represent us in
If
court.
we're gonna be
Sell
honest.
yourself.
All right. So anyway, I
Yeah.
took Judge Knapp, and that was with a keeper pick though in the sixth round, which is why I didn't go into him now. But
Oh, is that why we were
We'll
talking
edit
about
this entire obstruction part out, and it just skips to Brian and goes, and anyway, I had Judge Knapp. I'll release obstruction as a bonus
well,
episode.
us yelling over each other for 10 minutes is pure gold, pure audio gold that people are gonna love.
Well, that's what editing's for, my friend. Moving on. Howie, finally. Anybody?
Well, before Howie talks, let me say this.
Things.
I'm just kidding. I have nothing else to say.
Oh, is this a Liberty draft? I thought this was some kind of legal debate.
It's both.
I thought this was America.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. I thought it was a Liberty draft. All right, so
What does your shirt say, Howie?
Nice try, Howie.
it says Master Kim's National Taekwondo Champions, 1984.
Kim Jong-un?
Howie, why are you wearing my shirt on a Liberty Draft? You know I told you to keep that to yourself. If I'm going to send you one in the mail, I don't want you to wear it on video camera. I told you that. Only Dennis Rodman, he gets jealous. God, he gets so jealous.
So my first picks were my keepers.
How are you going to pick me?
Scott.
Howie selects Kim Jong-un.
I picked Scott Horton, who's the best on the most important issue. I picked Dave Smith, funniest.
Fifth round value. My biggest regret that I let go. Fifth round value, Dave Smith.
And John McAfee, madman, genius, crypto.
I think you should also note that John McAfee technically represents your first round pick, according to my records.
Yes, he does, but he was my third pick.
I know.
so
I'm just pointing out the
that's how that all
valuations here.
works. So now I get 2 picks in a row now because it's a snake
do.
draft. Is that right?
You do, and I can't wait. I'm
right.
nervous and excited all at once.
All right. So my first one is Jacob Hornberger.
Ooh, sneaky.
He is the founder and president of the Future Freedom Foundation. Scott Horton's trying to get him to run for president because though he's a minarchist, he hates all the worst things about the state. He's against these interventionist wars, against the drug wars, against the...
Howie, he's going to be at Pork Fest, so you can actually
state.
Explain to him why you...
That is a minarchist, Howie. You say even though he's a minarchist, that sounds like a minarchist.
Yeah, he is. He's a constitutionalist. He thinks the government shouldn't be doing anything that's not in the Constitution, which is just about everything that they do right now. And I think that's the kind of person that the LP should run, someone that can like attract normal people who haven't gone full ANCAP yet. He's great. And my second pick is Michael Malice.
Oh!
Damn it, Howie!
Who is...
I knew it.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Best troll, makes me laugh on Twitter every day. He's brilliant, funny, and he's really helping to get the message out there on Liberty.
You know, I got to say right now, we've clearly mistaken this draft because like Howie's team is so stacked with the goddamn picks scenario we gave.
Well, you could have... Oh, wait, no, you had
Mouse.
keepers.
Well, the funniest part about Howie's team is his weakest player is his first round.
Yeah, totally.
But he is the face of the team, so it kind of crafts the whole image.
Yeah.
All right, well, those are 2 solid picks, Howie. I'm pretty impressed.
Mine's gone.
Someone has done their research, and my favorite part is that you ruined
annoying.
Brian's pick.
Dude, I've been sweating for weeks that someone else was going to get them before me. Every time if somebody would pick someone not them, I hear like, just mirrors. Eric July was with Brian. I'm like, yes. All right. Oh.
That's why you're being so quiet. You didn't want to give anything away.
I'm so fucking annoyed now.
The only issue we have on my team right now is that I guess Scott
Bunch of white
Horton and Michael Malice are in some kind of feud.
Yeah.
But
What? Really?
Yeah, they are. Oh, how can you have both of the same?
Wait, they're in a
team?
feud? What's their feud?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's great.
I can't find out. I can't. No one knows what it's about.
Well, Scott's not on Twitter, so I would never. So I don't know. That's where I find about. That's where feuds happen to me.
Yeah.
And your team is full of Nazis.
I want more information
but,
about this
you know.
this Horton Malice feud.
Yeah, if any of our listeners know, I want to know too.
Maybe
so
maybe by the time we're in the bonus show, someone will have mentioned it. We can talk about that.
Easy.
But
You gonna pick Milo Yiannopoulos next, Howie? Is that your next pick?
no, Christopher Cantwell is next pick.
All right. Well, with my
Go
next
ahead,
pick,
Wake Up Punchy.
Wake Up Punchy will take Thomas Sowell.
Ooh,
Yes.
didn't want Odie to get all the diversity, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want Odie to have all the diversity. Plus, also, I think Thomas Sowell, he wasn't drafted last time, but he is the inspiration for many libertarian. Tom Woods, of course, reveres him as a god.
Eric
as
July
do I.
cited him as his inspiration.
He is a truly brilliant man. While you can't say he is 100% libertarian, he is 98% libertarian and a brilliant libertarian scholar. So proud to welcome him to my team, Mr. Sowell. And yes, he's still alive.
That is the first thing I thought.
there's something important I forgot to mention
He's 88.
about my Michael Malice pick. The
Go
reason
ahead.
we picked him to be on the Dark Tom Woods Alliance is because he brings the Dark Tom Woods out of Tom Woods. I don't know if you heard a few episodes back when he was on.
Are you trying
Tom
Wait,
Woods
who's we?
introduced him as Michael fucking Malice. Michael Malice brings out the Dark Tom Woods.
Well, good.
Well, now at least
Good. You're
one of
just
his
gonna give my
daughters is
Tom
going to
Woods
fuck
an edge.
before she's 18 because
It's
of
going to
that.
help my team.
Oh no, the Dark Tom Woods will cause regular Tom Woods to sabotage his team.
All right, well, now we're getting into meta things. If you don't know who Dark Tom Woods is, go follow him on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say, folks.
Can I just go back to what Rico said
Easy,
About
comrade.
obstruction?
Howie
Yeah,
is
let's talk
calling
about
his
that
team. Howie's saying we selected, so who's picking
Yeah,
this
who's
team?
we?
Me and Dark Tom Woods. What do you mean? It's an alliance.
He lives in Howie's beard, and he whispers to him at night.
Bury it. Bury it, Tubman.
Barry Tubman.
You are up next.
So for Barry Tubman, backdoor, backroom basketball, I will be taking. I will take Peter Schiff.
Peter Shift. Did you say it's Peter Shift? Like shifting your car?
Schiff. Did I say shift?
I don't know.
No, Schiff. Peter Schiff. I need an economist. Get someone. Get a mathematician brain on there to work the numbers out for my team to round it out. Because I'm a position man, and I'm filling that slot with Peter Schiff.
Maybe on someone's next podcast, you could have someone who made money with Peter Schiff's and your Pacific Capital. Because I've yet to meet or hear of them.
I'm not one of those people.
I will scour the earth.
That's fair enough. He's on my team. I can't guarantee that he'll make you rich.
Don't let him manage the finances.
Well, that's the problem
But,
with us,
you know-
us types. We're right in the long run, but we can't like time shit or like we always think it's all collapsing tomorrow forever.
Well, if that's your prediction, it's like, we're going to have a crash. It's like, okay, well, you're going to be right eventually. But how about before then, you make me a lot of money?
That's all I'm hoping for.
Bring money.
Okay.
All right. Odermatt, are you going to keep being racist, or are you going to select some white guys, or what?
Well, I'm going to stray from selecting
Well,
the
you already
black
selected
gentleman.
every black libertarian, so I don't know who
Wait,
else you would...
is Bob
I
Murphy
think
black?
I have.
He could be.
Well,
You know,
it is hard.
I think you can make a case for it.
He identifies as black though.
JB, you tell me.
He certainly doesn't sound black.
JB just sounded like regular JB again. What happened?
Yeah. Did the helium wear off? Or no, not the
happened
helium.
to-
Yes,
what happened to
either
the
that or I'm
weapons?
dead.
Whatever.
You know, there's a helium shortage. Don't use it all up.
I was just telling my wife about that. We're helium fucked.
Yeah.
It's going to be
'Cause
gone
of
by,
the
like,
government.
2040.
that
true?
sucks.
Free helium.
Well,
from the government.
you could only sell it for some really cheap price, and so everyone's like, "All right, let's fill it up in balloons at carnivals, give it out."
Oh, classic. That's not...
So for my next pick, I've been going back and forth on what to do here, and I think being the host of Felony Friday, the only right thing to do, the thing I should do, is pick in this spot, 4th round, Ross
Whoa.
Ulbricht.
Oh.
Interesting.
But you won't.
Nice.
I'm not sure what he's going to
And
contribute.
I know
from
that he's in
prison.
prison,
A solid pick,
and
Odie.
you might think that his reach is limited, but I have a feeling that some momentum is picking up some steam here, and things could be
Is this
changing.
Billy?
I would have
Inside
picked his. I would have
knowledge?
picked his mom to fill one of the female slots, and she's on.
Well, his mom comes with him. His mom comes with him.
No,
Breaking
we
news.
said no tandem picks this year.
Even
But
if they
honestly,
happen to
no,
be
Odie,
available.
honestly, though, that's my favorite non-casting couch pick of the night.
What are
Kudos
the
to
odds that Odie gets his inside knowledge because he's pretending to be a woman and his pen pals with Ross Ulbricht sending naked pics of some Colombian chick that he grabs offline?
I am curious, Odie. What is your strategy for how you would utilize Ross Ulbricht as a jailed member of your team who with no ability to speak on your team's behalf?
Well, he does have a Twitter account, so he is able to speak out.
Which he isn't allowed to post to. He has to mail tweets to his like.
Oh, you put it
Mom,
that
but-
way.
He is one of the most famous libertarians out there, outside of the traditional libertarian, people, party, whatever you call it. But and once he finds out he's on my team, that's all he's going to be tweeting about is make liberty great again. So it's that's part of the plan. The other part of the plan is I just want to raise awareness. This guy needs to be released, and people need to sign the petition and get him free.
I think it's a great pick.
I like it.
Thank you, Howie.
I think it's too early.
It's an interesting pick. It's an interesting pick indeed.
Already said my piece.
All right, well, moving along. Hellfire and Liberty. It's been a while since I got to make a real pick since the last time we did this show, but it's funny because
That's the name of your team? That name sucks.
cool.
You always had that name? It's awful.
Meanwhile, this guy's slinging around Trump catchphrases. Anyway.
Wake up, Punchy! It's hilarious. We have a T-shirt named after it.
Well, when Glenn Jacobs gets on the debate stage and raises the fires of hell at the podium, you're going to be impressed. And on fire, potentially.
By the way, that I'm sure you guys all saw that video of him. Some speech
Yeah, he
he was
chokeslammed
giving,
some guy.
body
It was great.
slamming a guy.
Did you see that,
That's
Rico?
amazing.
He was
No,
giving a speech
I
as like
didn't.
whatever at some whatever wherever the hell he lives in Tennessee thing, and this guy comes up. He's like this audio guy. He's like, "Oh, Mr. Jacobs, your time's about up." And he's like, "What do you mean my time's up? I'm the mayor." He's like, "Well, you know, you got to wrap up." He's like, "No, I'm not going to wrap up." And then he goes and takes and puts the cane mask on, and then chokeslams the guy through a table. And then he removes his mask. He's like,
Straight to
anyway,
hell.
as I was saying.
You know, I got to be honest, though. That breaks the fourth wall. Because if you're the audio guy, you're like, all right, I'll just wait here for all this to happen. I'll just chill.
There's no fourth. Good. I want the fourth wall in
Nothing here is
broken.
odd.
You know, another congressman choke slammed a reporter, but that didn't work out too good for him.
Who's that?
Oh yeah, who was?
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I forget. Some Republican dude.
Well,
I thought you were talking about like Aaron Burr or some shit.
No, they blamed it on Trump, of course.
Yeah.
Some historical consequence.
Anyway,
because of Trump.
Moving on. Who's your pick, Mark?
Well,
Ross Ulbricht's mom. Get her. then Ross Ulbricht can't even talk.
As a matter of fact, she was actually on my list. And while I was going to wait a little bit, this does now seem like the opportune time to draft a great advocate for liberty, someone who has been out there championing a change to our laws, the laws that found her son in jail. I draft Lynn Ulbricht with my 4th round pick. It's a great pick. She's almost as good as Ross, except she's not in jail and can speak all the time.
Yep.
And she will not be sending any tweets from you to.
Well, she will only be promoting my team.
I'm pretty sure she's going to be loyal to the team that drafted her.
For that.
Yeah, at this point.
Her son or her Liberty team? I mean, that's a pretty easy choice.
I'm talking about a Sophie's Choice. I did move her up, but I did have her on my list. That part is legitimate.
Plans coming.
Ross
together.
is like, Mom, why won't you take my phone
Because I know
calls?
if I didn't draft her right now, Rico was going to, or Brian, or someone was going to. I was never going to see her again. Actually, there's only one more draft pick
doubt
between
Rico
me
would. I don't think it would have been Rico for being.
I can't wait till Howie tells Jacob Hornberger to run for president at PorkFest drunkenly, like when he talked to Jeffrey Tucker at PorkFest drunkenly. It's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should have said Jeffrey Tucker now.
Well, Howie's.
Are we doing another round?
We haven't even finished this round yet.
On, let's do it.
No, we're doing.
No.
We're gonna. We'll finish this round and then yeah.
We got to do a PorkFest draft.
We're not doing any at PorkFest,
right.
so you can get that out of your mind.
That's not happening.
No.
Oh, we're not.
Every time we do this, I tell you we're not doing it at PorkFest, and every time you insist we are. You can
So
run
what's
your own
going on at
podcast at
PorkFest
PorkFest
now?
where you run a draft. That's not this one.
No, we're doing live Do Nothing Man
Yeah,
at
I know.
PorkFest. That's going to be the best.
All right, well, to wrap things up for this iteration of the Liberty Draft, Rico.
And we're doing a beer pong tournament at PorkFest, guys. We're not. Apparently, Roger's not allowed to promote it, so just know it's happening. Mark it on your goddamn calendars. We're
Not
doing it on
allowed?
We can
Saturday.
promote it. It's just not a beer pong tournament.
We
It's
can.
a definitely not beer pong tournament, we're going to call it.
Yeah, it's a
I
water
see.
tournament.
Seems pretty
that
status.
will
Not
have
a
beer in
flamethrower.
the cup
Don't
instead of
blame
water.
Roger, blame the state.
I thought the whole point of those stupid bastards going there in force was to change all these stupid laws.
The state.
Free state project
haven't
my
quite-
ass. I can't even play beer
Exactly.
pong.
More like free status
They haven't quite
project.
eliminated the state just
I guess
yet.
Roger's not a not comply guy.
So let me ask you guys a serious beer pong rules question here. Might be a little controversy. Are we playing with 2 balls or 1 ball?
One.
Well, as Lions, we always play with 1 ball,
You do?
but I think the majority of the beer pong playing world plays with 2 balls, and I think it's faster.
If you have
for
2 on a
tournaments. So
team,
I'm
why
fine
wouldn't you play
playing
with
2
2
balls at 10 cup? Yeah.
All right,
Because
whatever.
we're
I
used to
don't-
playing with
you
one.
don't remember
It's exactly as
college,
Brian
1
says.
ball?
I think
No, I
the
don't
vast
remember.
I
majority
think
of
1
people play
ball
with
is
2.
better.
But we play with
1
one.
ball is better because you don't have the bringbacks
Yeah,
and all that.
it's-
Fight talk
crap.
rules.
The 2 balls
Yeah, but for a
invites
tournament,
way too much randomness and
Fight
luck.
talk
for a
rules.
tournament, man, it takes a lot shorter time to play with 2 balls.
Who gives a shit? Do we have anything else to do?
One ball is
No?
a
We
craftsman's
have tons
game.
of podcasts to do.
It's like golf.
Well, I don't. So I'll carry the team when you guys are busy listening to speeches or giving speeches or whatever the fuck
Writing
else you're gonna do
speeches.
You're writing speech. Something about speeches.
Passing out in a U-Haul, getting lost in the woods, coming back damp. These are all Howie's plans, and none of us did that.
Getting raped by Bigfoot.
That happened?
Whatever.
No.
That's
Bigfoot's a
that's not very
libertarian. He wouldn't
libertarian of you,
initiate force.
Bigfoot.
No, he would never do that. That's Loch Ness Monster shit.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
All right, Rico, who's your pick?
So I was
Last
going to
pick
save
of the
this
day. Make it a good one.
controversial pick for later in the game, but I might as well just do it now.
Ross Ulbricht's grandmother, Margaret Ulbricht.
So Odie has criticized me for not picking true libertarians, so this is going to be great fodder for him. But who is more against the United States government these days than this man in the news? He's going to be on trial at some point in
Roger
time.
Stone?
No. He was
Michael Avenatti.
he may be extradited
Oh, I know.
at some point in time.
A little Julian Assange.
I'm going to take Julian Assange.
Another guy in jail who can't talk. This is the all jail round.
Oh,
He
I
actually
like
might
that pick a
die.
lot.
This is the Felony Friday round.
He's very sick, Rico. He may die and turn out to be your ghost pick.
As long as he lasts for at least a year, then I'm good.
Is he really sick or is he just a vegan?
Well, the question is
there
how
a
much
difference?
sex has he had with Pamela Anderson in prison? Because he might have Hep C, D, and F by now.
How many Heps are there?
I don't know.
Can't they cure most of them now?
You'd think they could.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. In the Ecuadorian prison, he was, or the Ecuadorian embassy. I don't know if he was getting
Prison.
medical care. Now he's in prison.
It was the embassy in London. I'm sure it was pretty posh, as they say.
I like how he's skateboarding.
Even the
to
shittiest
hall.
I don't
Countries
think they
have
gave
nice
him the
embassies.
best bedroom. They're probably like, all
Don't
right.
Well, they
forget
said
that.
he was
Even the
walking around
shittiest
dirty.
countries have really nice embassies. Let's not kid themselves.
JB's got a whole calendar. It's embassies around the world, and Ecuador's embassy in London is January.
All right, well, there's some impressive picks in this round. I gotta say, a lot of curveballs, a lot of surprises. I even surprised myself by moving someone up my board. Final thoughts. How about people say some stuff? I'm done hosting.
I promise to never be 2 minutes late after clicking on the wrong
I believe it's 15,
Zoom link
thank you very
again.
much. Actually, no.
I wasn't
no,
15
JB
minutes
was the one that
late.
was late. Really late.
That's not really even that long. Like he made like if the professor doesn't show up cutoff rule. He was like right under the.
I don't
wire.
abide by that rule at all.
It was under 15 minutes. Just to get that out there, it was under the 15-minute cutoff rule. It was like 12
I throw my
minutes or
headphones
something.
at 2 minutes.
I like how he says the professor cutoff rule as if he
Hold
ever
on.
went to class.
The Lions Liberty rule is 7 seconds. It's a little
In the
different.
army, if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
That's my rule. Actually, that's my real rule.
Yeah, well,
Well, honestly,
Army's
you know,
stupid.
I consider sleeping through this whole thing, so I don't know what to tell you.
We're very.
All right?
I am glad you
He's a
joined us
hero.
instead of sleeping through it, because it would have been your last Liberty draft if you slept through it.
and JB's voice is coming back to normal.
Yeah, it's
too.
rising.
If you
told you it was
are not a
allergies.
subscriber to the Lions of Liberty Pride, you are missing out on some great, amazing video, especially of JB. JB's been the star of the show, the story of the show, as I mentioned before. It was worth throwing my headphones and you being late, and now Brian's doing a weird dinosaur dance.
And I
Showing
wasn't
off
even
on taking my
actually late.
dinosaur
I
dance.
was on time. I was having technical difficulties.
Well, it's all part of it.
which I warned you about because my computer was missing.
well, that's the biggest technical
Well,
difficulty. you
not
can
missing. I willingly left it at work. I guess missing's a little ambiguous. I left it very ambiguous. I purposely left it at work, so yeah.
Ow, wow.
That was on me. But I told you there may be some issues.
Well, you have-
like
So how did you get the camera set up then? If you don't have the
another computer.
computer,
It's a webcam. It's just a camera embedded in the
wife's.
computer.
Well,
That's why his looks worse than ours.
it always looks worse than ours.
That's
actually, your wife's camera
I
think it's better than-
webcam
it's
is
better
way
than
better
your
than
normal one.
yours. So you should probably use this.
I like that we
going
can
forward.
never see JB's forehead or above. He might not even have one at this point, for all we know.
And actually, Andrew commented on the Zoom chat that this is by far the best video. of JB.
Really?
Yeah, it really is.
All right. I guess I'll stick with it then.
Keep leaving that laptop at home. I think this is your best audio too. Your best Barry White impression. Your best performance all around.
Well, you've never seen my Barry White impression.
But were they his
I'm saving
best
that for Pork
picks?
Fest.
That's the question.
What's up?
I was saying, but were your best picks made in this state?
My best picks? You've never seen those either, okay?
That is
Easy
for the
time.
I hope
listeners
they're
to
to come.
decide.
I'm excited.
Easy, fella.
Those are on what's that basketball couch, whatever.
Maybe we'll do an informal poll in the Pride.
It's on backdoor
Barry
basketball.
Tubman's
couch
backdoor
podcast.
basketball couch.
That's where you find all JB's best picks.
All right. Well, that seems like a great time to wrap up the show.
Somebody's got to get that website. Is that domain can't be taken? Right?
Barry Tubman's backdoor basketball couch. Yeah, if that's taken.
That would be amazing.
I guarantee as soon as Dan Smots hears it, he's going to have it.
Dan, make us a Photoshop. Come on. All right, friends. Well, anyway, thanks. Thanks for coming on. Check out the show notes, which will break down this entire draft that's laid before you. And I think I'll post a preliminary poll. I think it's time for a little pride poll to see who is currently winning now that we've done almost half of the draft. Some people have done half the draft, depending on their keepers. as a matter of fact. So, with that being said, we're going to stick around for a little bonus action, drink some more, not give a shit about some things some more, and talk about some stuff. But until then, gentlemen, would you like to join me in signing off to our dear listeners? Until next time, please do join me.
Live long.
Bury it in our best Bury It Tubmans.
Live life!